going?
It's going. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Feels weird to appreciate that. I was off all week. But it's not like I just sat around and did nothing. It was still busy. It'll just be weird to get back to the old norm next week. Having to get to work on time and all that.
We get to go to a wedding next week.
Yeah.
I bought, at Kohl's today, I bought some shorts-looking undergarment. I'm not sure if it's gonna work for my purposes because it still does kind of look undergarment-y. So I'm gonna throw Google and see if there's such thing as like
dance shorts.
Yeah, swing dance shorts or whatever. Probably can get some delivered before the wedding, but I've got a backup, and then if I don't end up using them, I will return them.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's that.
So, assessment.
For Loki, Season 1, Episode 5. It was good. I'm disappointed in the lack of
Post-credit scene.
It felt a little bit much to take in, with there being, I think, only one more episode left.
Okay.
But, I mean, I liked it. I was just, it just felt like there was a lot going on that I was trying to keep up with, you know?
Okay. I felt like I was able to follow most of the plots pretty well. The only places I got a little bit hairy were trying to track Renslayer, because it was such a departure from all of the epicness that was happening back at the Void, and then it was just like, oh, and then also the judge might be having second thoughts, or maybe she might not be, and it's like, it's such a mental shift to go to that place from the Void. It was a little jarring, but I mean, again, there's only 6 episodes. They got to tell their story.
Yeah.
Can you drop the episode name real quick? What was that?
Journey into Mystery.
Okay.
So previously, on discussions on the variant versions of Loki and the fact that the TVA are all variants, Loki is pruned, Sylvie takes the judge, Renslayer, and demands answers. B-15 is on Sylvie's side now. Now, at the TVA, the camera gets all topsy-turvy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently we saw that in the trailer, because I remember New Rockstar was being like, what, are we going to the Upside Down now?
Cuts the decapitated head of the Timekeeper into a desolate world where we find Loki and his variants. They're in the Void. There's a lost style smoke monster they have to run from. Oh, see, I was thinking Stranger Things.
Oh, like the Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer, that's what it was.
My brain went to Lost Smoke Monster first.
Which, aren't they one and the same anyway?
A bit, yes. But the Lost Smoke Monster actually, eliminates people. And, Lost is all purgatory-ish, and the Void is all purgatory-ish, so...
Fair. That's fair. Renslayer gives Sylvie a temp pad. She says she's in the dark too and was lied to. Renslayer is saying that she wants answers. She tells Sylvie that pruned variants go to the end of time, where the variant branches can no longer grow. Sylvie gives Renslayer the temp pad back because Renslayer says she can show Sylvie. Meanwhile, the Loki variants keep running. Loki freaks out at them. They call the smoke monster Eliath.
Yeah, they're like, you keep running, that's how you survive. Like, they had this moment where they're like, we're Loki's, that's Eliath, and we're its lunch. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Talk about the smoke monster.
Yes. So all the Loki variants do is survive, no plan to escape. That's what Lokis do, survive. Boy Loki says that his Nexus event was killing Thor.
Right, so I don't know if we talked about this last time, but you got old Loki,
Black Loki.
black Loki, boy Loki,
And alligator Loki.
and alligator Loki, and then our Loki. And sorry, can you say that again? What you just said.
The Boys Nexus event was killing Thor.
Right.
And then in the background we see a Thanos copter.
Thanos copter. Random comic reference.
So it sounds like all pruned variants go here, not just Loki's. The band of old Lokis go down a hatch, and we get one of those kind of like WandaVision when they do the cartoony thing where you're like they're going down and you can
You see the layers of Earth you're passing through.
Yeah, a lot of lunch trays.
Interesting.
And we saw Mjolnir and a tiny Loki, or a tiny Thor in a jar, jumping around.
Yeah, and you mentioned this is where all variants go. So basically, it's the end of time for everyone. It's like the canon end of time, and all pruned variants are sent to this exact place and this exact time. But it's crawling with Loki's because most variants get eaten up by Goliath. But what do Lokis do? They survive. So all the Loki variants like survived, and all the other variants died. So it's just Loki's wandering around, and there's like factions and stuff.
Yeah. So at their base, they ask Loki why he wants to return to the TVA. Meanwhile, with Renslayer and Sylvie, Renslayer asks Miss Minutes to show them the creation of the TVA, but Sylvie asks them to show her the void, the end of time. So Renslayer feeds her some line about a spaceship that can fly through the end of time. It's a prototype, blah, blah, blah. But basically, Renslayer is stalling for time until the Minutemen arrive. Renslayer looks unsure. Sylvie says offhand that she has only one good memory, then she pruned herself. Black Loki's nexus was killing Captain America and Iron Man, he says.
They all call him out as bullshit.
Old Loki's story was faking his death to Thanos, then just hung out in solitude forever. The TVA arrived when he got lonely and went to find Thor. Our Loki is different. He wants to escape because of Sylvie. And he basically tells them that he wants to go kill Goliath, and they all laugh at him. He opens the hatch to leave and finds a hell of a lot more Lokis.
Just so many. Including one that actually looks like him for once.
Right? Kind of makes you wonder what his Nexus event was.
It looked like he ran for president. He appeared to have an election patch.
Yeah. Sylvie wakes up and is immediately attacked by Goliath. Why no welcome wagon for her?
Yeah, like when our Loki arrived,
Well,
they
maybe
were right
it was
there.
just they were there.
Just like randomly?
Yeah. Or maybe they came across him or something. I don't know. She does some magic stuff to help her escape and gets in a car with Mobius driving a pizza delivery truck. And I thought it had the same thought. The one from Toy Story?
I think it legitimately was. I think that was an Easter egg. The way the pizza bounced around was very familiar.
It wasn't a truck, though. It was a car.
Yeah, it was. It was a hatchback.
Yeah.
But it was easier for me to write.
The new big group of Lokis, called the Snakes/Wolves, and they all debate at each other. Alligator Loki eats one of their hands. Great fight scene. For our group, we got Old Magic Loki, Young Loki, Alligator, and our Loki escape. Black Loki basically betrayed them.
Tried to sell them out to the snakes, and
Yeah.
they're all like, but what you don't know is that I will really rise to power.
And our Loki is just like, so over it.
Yeah, just watching all of them be like, but what you don't know was I was. And like they keep doing it, and he's just like, he's kind of amused, which is great.
Bemused.
Bemused, yes.
So, the rest of the gang agree to help Loki to get to Goliath. Meanwhile, we got Sylvie and Mobius discussing things. She assumes Goliath killed Loki, and she wants to face it. Interesting that she and Loki have the same idea that no one else wanted to do.
Yeah, they both want to face Goliath, and all the other Lokis reject it. I don't know if it's because they're new, or if there's something else different about them. But we'll get there.
Our group of Lokis approaches Goliath. He wants to find its brain or heart or whatever. Alligator Loki grunts. Old Loki says he's praying because he thinks they're going to die. Loki's pray?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a weird line.
Yeah. A fully crewed ship appears, weird, and Goliath consumes it.
Yeah. How does the entire ship get pruned? Like, with a full crew? Like, they weren't processed or anything? They were just sent right there, it looks like?
Yeah,
Makes no sense.
The pizza car arrives and Loki and Sylvie are reunited. Sylvie's plan was not to kill Goliath, but to enchant it to get past it. The way out must be beyond this guard dog, which is essentially what she's thinking it is. Back at the TVA, Renslayer meets with B-15, who was locked up for freeing Sylvie. She wants to uncover the truth because she saw the timekeepers are fake. Renslayer wants to know what she knows about Sylvie. B-15 can see Renslayer just wants to uncover the truth, but says Sylvie will get to it first. Renslayer leaves and asks Miss Minutes for info on the beginning of time. Then has this, like, smirk.
Yeah.
Back at the Void, no one knows the origin of Alligator Loki. There's a funny dialogue with Mobius talking to the Lokis. Mobius wants to uncover the truth now, too. Loki and Sylvie talk and flirt.
Totally.
They discuss Mobius. They don't believe Mobius' explanation of Loki's Nexus event. And we're trying to remember if we heard that. If we did, it was a while ago and just don't remember. So I'm sure New Rockstars will fill us in.
I hope so. People would be like, yeah, you all remember. And like...
Sylvie feels uncomfortable. She doesn't know how to have friends. Loki conjures then a blanket to share. She asks how she knows he won't betray her. He says he's betrayed everyone that ever loved him, but that's not him anymore. Like, and I genuinely believe him. Like,
yeah.
They talk about what they'll do when this is all over. He says maybe they can figure it out together, which is a guaranteed death sentence. Don't ever talk about that.
Never have that conversation.
Never, ever, ever. They face Goliath. Sylvie says she linked to it earlier. That's why she thinks she can enchant it.
That's what that little magic thing she did when she was running away from it was, I guess. She felt like she linked to it. She saw something.
Mm-hmm. Mobius temp pads out, but not before a hug. And while he's hugging Loki, he looks at Sylvie and he's like, "You're my favorite, Loki."
You're my favorite.
But for all Loki knows, he was saying that. Loki and Sylvie stay to go through the void. Mobius says he's going to go back to the TVA and burn it to the ground. He and Loki hug it out. Oh, okay. Old and young Loki offer them luck. Young Loki gives Loki a sword. Then they leave, leaving Loki and Sylvie.
Which is kind of funny because they had a conversation earlier about how the swords are useless.
Yeah. Sylvie says they need a distraction, so Loki makes himself one. It's about to eat Sylvie when old Loki fucking conjures Asgard to distract Goliath. Dude's really strong magically.
Yeah, and he had talked about, he was like, none of you realize just how strong we can be with our magic. Like, if you would, that's how where the sword conversation came up. It was like, if you just drop the swords and focus on magic, like, there's a lot of power there. Like, okay. And he demonstrates it there, and it was pretty cool.
Music sounds a lot like Flight of the Valkyries. That can't be an accident.
Yeah, did you pick up on that? Like, that whole scene where they're facing off against Goliath. It was like, dun 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 dun.
I did not catch that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Loki and Sylvie link hands to enchant Goliath together. Goliath faces old Loki. It sounds like he says something like Julius Papas. We don't know what he shouted. Again, I'm sure New Rockstars will tell us.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he has an awesome final Gandalf moment in his Eaton. But, like, he like, starts laughing, and I'm like, I can see, like, the younger, like, the Tom Hiddleston Loki in that laugh. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. But Sylvie and Loki successfully enchant Goliath. They see beyond it. It's a rainbowy city or something, and the episode ends. With no end or mid-credits.
Penultimate episode. They're keeping it to their chest.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, there was no end credit scene on Infinity War, was there? Or was there?
Infinity War? Yes.
Was that Ant-Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was cool. Oh, no, wait.
No, that was Ant-Man, because that was the end credit scene of Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Hang on, I'm thinking.
Oh, was it Nick Fury calling Captain Marvel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
So.
Anyway.
Wow, only 15 minutes.
Any predictions for the final episode? I think our Loki's gonna die. And Sylvie's gonna live.
Yeah, checks out. Yeah, because they had that discussion, and our Loki has already, he saw his own end. Like,
Yeah.
what happens to him in the actual timeline. You know, that's why, I mean, that makes sense. That's why he's so gung-ho about, like, going to kill Elias, and he's not trying to survive. He knows what this is. He knows, like, okay, I survived this, but then what?
He's already seen his death, so he doesn't have that same yearning for survival. And he knows he can't go back to the way things were. He can't go back to... He knows too much about how all this works to really have aspirations.
Yeah.
The one thing he has to live for at this point seems to be Sylvie.
And if it's between him living and Sylvie living...
He'll choose her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's had his chance, and Sylvie was abducted as a young girl, and she's just been trying to survive ever since. And she never... Everything that she did that's considered bad was just her trying to survive. She, from what we could see, she never did anything like our Loki did, like, you know, trying to take over. She wasn't trying to take over the TVA. She's trying to end it because it destroyed her life.
He's having his Spike moment.
Yeah.
A lot of bad things done. I'm not that guy anymore. You know, he's completing that redemption circuit.
Yeah.
And that usually ends with self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
If I know TV, and I think I do.
So, anywho, yeah.
All right. I guess that's it then. Can't
Yeah.
wait for the last one.